Hello, lovely people. Welcome to our tarot reading for the 13th of January. That is this year, 2025. As you can see, I'm going to do things a little bit differently today. And I thought what I would do is look at a type of New Year reading. And so I have taken the cards and arranged them like this, so that before we've started, it's just a little bit easier than shuffling them when they're all out, or, whilst I'm talking to you for that many cards. Anyway, it is looking really rather exciting, and let's have a chat. Okay. Now, there is a question attached to each card, so we'll go through that as we go along. We have three major arcana cards, which to begin with, which is interesting in itself because the major arcana card is very much about what's very deep, what's in our psyche, and what sort of goes with us through life. And then we have two minor arcana cards here, which is more so about kind of everyday kind of things. And the Page of Pentacles we have here, so it's a court card, and court cards can be about an aspect of ourselves, or they can be maybe somebody that would be close to you, that would be perhaps a mentor, or an antagonist even. So right, okay. Well, look, we're starting off here with the Lovers, and the question that we have here with the first card is, who am I at this moment? And for that question, we have here the Lovers. Now, the Lovers symbolize inner balance and peace. And it represents different aspects of yourself, but they're aspects that must be brought together. They must be brought into harmony in order for you to gain perspective. The Lovers also represents choices. Now, interestingly enough, we have that the last card is also about choices. So we have here the Lovers. This is... so we're looking at about choices here. We'll just leave it at that for the moment. This card reminds us that we can heal any situation and free ourselves from any suffering just by the way we look at things. If we look at things through the eyes of authentic love. Now you have the male and the female here, and the male represents your worldly conscious self. And this is the part of you that wants to figure out everything mentally, where you need a rational explanation. This is the part of you that fears the unknown. It's the part of you that's about status and strength and reason. All of these are the things that would matter to you. And then you have the female side of yourself, and that represents the psyche. And this is your unconscious awareness and your capacity to feel. So this part of you is sensitive, it's kind, and it feels compassion, and it wants everything to go smoothly. And both of these parts of yourself are incomplete on their own. So we need both of these parts of ourselves in order to be in harmony. And so you have here above, you have the angel, and the angel represents your higher self. And this is your super consciousness. And in a way, it's your super consciousness that brings these two parts of yourself into harmony. And, if you want to go and heal the wounds that we all eventually acquire, then you must be able and you must be prepared to go deep within, because this is the realm of the spirit. And when you look at yourself with the eyes of the angel, there is only love. So we do fall out of harmony by attaching ourselves to only one aspect of ourselves. That can be this side, it can be this side, because we both sides are really, really important. And so the way forward is really to go within. Because when you worry, when you look at only one side, you tend to lose the perspective of that higher self, of your higher self. And if you're ruminating too much on your emotions, or you lose sight of the world's unlimited opportunities, then this is the sort of thing that brings suffering. If you're worrying about your status, if you're worrying about how you appear to others, all of this is the sort of stuff that brings suffering. So when you're like that, you do tend to lose sight of the world's unlimited opportunities. So what the angel does is it resides deeper within you, and it's beyond the pain. So you do need to be able to bring yourself to go deep within. So instead of feeling wounded, say, by the actions of other people that may be feeling incomplete and caught up with their own suffering, look on yourself and others with the love of your inner spirit. Because this is what will free you from suffering, and this is what will restore harmony, every time. So this is really a beautiful card to start off with. It's very much about looking at you as a whole person, and how that part of you can be divided, and how we need that higher part of ourselves to reintegrate and become whole again. And if we are whole, then you will be able to kind of ignore what other people are saying to you if they're trying to bring you down. So if you're trying to bring somebody else down, then you're feeling incomplete in yourself. So this card is very much about, become whole, but look to your higher self in becoming whole. Now, this then is followed by the Fool, and I think this is coming up beautifully behind the Lovers. Because the Fool is the question that goes with the Fool here is, who do I want to become? So here you have, who am I at this moment? And this is the question that is, who do I want to become? So the Fool is the archetype of freedom. And it's the card of humor and positive new adventures. The Fool is not attached to any identity. And the Fool is not worried about proving himself to others. He's just the Fool, simple, unencumbered by worry, and completely free to go where he chooses. Now, the Fool's wisdom lies in his lack of ego and pride. And so this is where, he doesn't care if he looks competent or incompetent. He just doesn't care. He's not afraid of people laughing at him, because he's perfectly able to laugh at himself. And it's the Fool's humour that gives him this sort of inexhaustible resilience. And the Fool also carries magical healing powers, like the Lovers here, because the Lovers is about being whole. And but the Fool carries these healing powers for himself and for others, because the Fool won't be boxed in or kept or be, the Fool doesn't allow himself to be defined by others. So these two are actually quite similar in the sense. This is it's so wonderful, I think, that this card is telling you who you are at the moment, or who you could be at the moment is maybe who. And you have to ask yourself here, are you feeling whole? And if you're not, then you need to go inside. The Fool is telling you what it feels like to be whole, that where you just don't care about other people. And, we are not going to be defined by other people. It represents that sort of wild and rebellious part of your nature, because the Fool goes his own path. And when you're going on your own path, it means you're on a spiritual journey. The Fool doesn't pay attention to what might go wrong. And this is, let's take this to you. So it's telling you this is what you want to become. You want to go forward. You want to you want to follow your own path, and you're just not going to pay attention to what might go wrong, at least not at this point. So this is the point where you want to be really occupied with that sort of sense of the thrilling opportunities of the day. Now, the Fool does know a secret, a very important secret that a lot of us tend to forget, and that is that things really are never as bad as they seem. And what the Fool is doing is it's calling you on this new adventure. So you're wanting to go on this new adventure. You know that it's time to escape from the confines of your rut and routines. And you're wanting to release this inner Fool. You're wanting to release your fear of failure. And because I know, we know that fear is just a crippling companion. So stop worrying about what others are thinking. Back here, aren't we? Because, limiting, when you're worried about what other people are thinking, then this is also, could be called limited thinking. So find that spark in yourself and set it free. And that's really what this card is doing. It's giving you permission to find that spark and to set it free. And now we come on to the Empress, and the Empress really backs all of this up as well. So the question that goes with the Empress is, what fills me with meaning and passion? And here we have the Empress. Now the Empress is the card. When the Empress appears in a reading, it's telling you that your worries need no longer exist. So the Empress reassures us that we're safe and protected and have access to all the abundance that we need. And so this is a very passionate card, and it's very, all of these things are accessible to us, even if we can't see them or even if we can't feel them. And what the Empress is doing is she's advising you that self-love will be your strongest shield moving forward. And here we go back to the Lovers, don't we? And this is followed by the Fool, because this is all about self-love. And self-love is what will push you forward. And if you look at the Empress robes here, her robes are covered with fruit. And the fruit, it represents the power to bring prosperity and abundance to everything. So the Empress, she's the nurturer. And this is your passion. Your passion is whatever it is that you want to nurture. That might be your family. It might be a project that you, that's burbling away there in your mind and that you want to bring forth and to bear fruit with. And the Empress is saying that if this is where you're at, then do it. But you have to believe in yourself to do it. Now, you've got this field of wheat here as well. And this too is all about, being able to feed and to nurture and to nourish. So, this card is here to remind you that there is more than enough for everyone. And if you have a dream, then the Empress is here telling you to go forth with that dream. And there is plenty for you, there is plenty for everyone. And, she reminds you of the power of your highest ideals. So again, we're going back here to the angel within. And this is the energy that will allow you to manifest whatever dream you're trying to create. Because this card is telling you, it's bang in the middle here, it's telling you everything is going to be okay. And, this card is saying, if you're doubting that, then maybe you're neglecting a part of your life that you need to start nurturing with love and with care and with attention. So there are three very major cards here to begin this New Year's reading with. Now, if we move on to the next card, the question for the next card is, what role do I currently play in my life? And now we have the Six of Wands. Well, the Six of Wands is about gaining attention through excellence. We all have a gift or a talent or a personal strength that we excel at. And what this card is doing is it advising you to not only embrace your talents, but to display them fully, to display them unapologetically. And, you know, it's reminding you also that the best way to improve your life is to love yourself fully. And this includes, loving the gifts that you bring. So, I don't know, maybe you were taught that to do that would, if you were to bring attention to your gifts, maybe you were taught that that's immodest, or that maybe it's rude to call attention to your gifts. Well, what this card is doing is it's turning that on its head, really, because this guy is sitting all triumphant on his horse. He's got all of these wands, they're up in the air. He's in the center of this triumphant procession, and he's elevated by his peers because of his gifts. And he is completely comfortable with his self-confidence. So this is not about being at all arrogant. This card is about owning what makes you you. So if we go back to the question here, what role are you currently playing in your life? Then are you this person? Are you owning your gifts? Are you able to display them unapologetically? And, it's if you look, you've got here these wreaths, laurel wreaths. Well, you've got a laurel wreath also in the with the Empress. Now, these wreaths are also associated with the World, which is the last card in the major arcana. And they're very much associated with success and fulfillment, so victory. They're sort of like victory wreaths. And so the message here is very, very strong. The message is saying that the message is telling you that whatever you do, you will be successful at. Also, you have the same laurel wreath here with the Fool as well. So you've got three cards here that are kind of associated with the major arcana last card in the major arcana. And it's the card of the World, it's the card of success, it's the card of victory. You've got there. So this is your journey there. And to get there, you have to own your gifts. You have to own your confidence. You have to be that person. And you also may have to put up with people that, that might not appreciate your self-confidence, shall we say. And here we would be looking at incomplete people. Now, we've come across this before, haven't we? So, about don't be hiding your light under a bush because of incomplete people that are jealous of you. And this is pretty strong in this card as well. So it's very much about believing in yourself, believing in your value, and embodying your best self. If you're following your passion and you're loving it, then it really won't matter what other people think of you. If you start to worry about what other people think of you, then you really do need to be sorting that out. Is that where you are at the moment? Because if it is, as I say, sort it out. You need to be able to embrace your talents, your abilities, and your worth. So stop throwing yourself under the bus to appease the wounded egos of other people that may be weaker than yourself. because you will definitely find supportive people that will love you when you're confident. And you will also find that you attract the same kind of people to you. Like does attract like. So have a think about what you like and have a think about what you want to attract. And if you want to attract positivity into your life and be a go-getter, then be that. And that will mirror itself right back at you. So raise your standards, stop apologizing for yourself just to make other people feel better. Call attention to your talents and promote yourself. Basically, stop following other people and lead your own life. So yeah, it's a good question. Where are you there? Now then we come on to the Page of Pentacles. So the question here associated with the Page of Pentacles is, what fear is preventing me from progressing? And that's quite interesting, isn't it? What fear is preventing me from progressing? Now, the Page of Pentacles, it represents the passion that you feel for what really interests you. You know, that can be a goal, it can be a talent, it could be a creative pursuit, it could be a particular career that you love. And what this particular card is very much about is it's a reminder that to get better at anything, you have to really work at it. And, anxiety to do well, that can really, it can take the place of passion and the process of getting better. It can really interfere with all of that. And if you want to get better at anything, it's usually, that journey is usually strewn with mistakes. And this card is a reminder that, your mistakes are your best teachers. So you do need to be able to remind yourself about what you love. Because otherwise, if you don't, you may actually quickly sink. So this can often occur maybe when you're comparing yourself to others who, in inverted commas, do it better. And this is absolutely a perfect recipe for anxiety, for apathy, or for avoidance. So we go back to the question here. What fear is preventing you from progressing? So you need to remember here, oh gosh, I keep hearing myself saying this word need. Apologies for that. But it would be good to remember what initially made you passionate about your goal, about your dream, about whatever it is that you're wanting to pursue, about whatever it is that you're really, really good at. And the Page of Pentacles here is a symbol of that passion for learning. And it's a symbol for, the passion of learning. It's a symbol for perfection and understanding. Page of Pentacles likes to understand. And the pages tend to be very much about ideas. Now, this particular page is not just a dreamer. Some of the pages are dreamers, but this particular page, the Page of Pentacles, is a doer. Pentacles are doers, and Pentacles plan for the long run. They plan for the long term. And Pentacles, they're very much about, it's sort of the root chakra. They're very much about your what brings you security, what brings you comfort. It could be your home, your job, very, very sort of rooted sort of things. And you have here, this guide's in his green tunic, and this represents, the abundance that will result from making your ideas tangible success in this physical world. So, all of the cards here are huge in telling us that what you're about to do has the potential to be really, really successful. And but for success to take root, the love of your idea, it must supersede your anxiety about it. So you're talking about, you want to imbue your idea with a sense of passion and also with excitement. And you also want to be honing your skills and your ideas. Because the Page of Pentacles, it does represent the excitement that accompanies transformation of ideas, into solid reality. And so, but you do have to supersede your anxiety about it. And when this card appears, as it is appearing for us here, it often does for people who turn their hobbies into careers, or turn, their interest into careers. And that can be really quite difficult, because sometimes you can really love what you do, and then when you want to maybe make a business of it, then it's throwing a whole other set of responsibilities into it, and that can kill the love of it. So, be sure of what it is you want to go forward with here. The Page of Pentacles, it loves to stimulate. It's about stimulating your mind, and it's about having your mind stimulated. So do seek out other fascinating people and exchange ideas with them. Don't let this fear get in your way. Remind yourself of what it is that you love. Remind yourself of your passion and what you can do with that passion, and then go for it, because all of the signs here are it's going to be successful. I mean, obviously it's not going to be successful if you do nothing. You're going to have to work at it, and these cards are really guiding you, where you need to be in yourself. Now, the last card here is the Two of Pentacles, the Two of Wands. And this card is advice. What sort of advice is this card giving you? Well, we're looking at the Two of Wands represents the sense that there is something missing. And that if you were to maybe get that thing, then you would be happy. This is kind of, the twos are very much about, they're very much about decisions and choices. And this card is also about a choice. But what's behind this card and the choices that you would be making is that there is something missing. Ones are very action-orientated people. They need to be stimulated all of the time. And, ones can be, they have that spirit, that passion to pursue things. There's a real restlessness with the one suit. Now, this restlessness, it can be very useful to help you set up goals and to make improvements in your life. However, the Two of Wands warns you that achievements and acquisitions, they will not be what finally makes you happy. So, getting what you desire, it can make you feel good for a time, but without authentic awareness of your true value, the achievement will soon feel hollow. So money can make it easier to enjoy your life, but it will not actually provide joy. Your bliss must come from deep within. We're right back to this first card, aren't we? So yes, success is there, but is what you're embarking on, is that what's going to make you happy? Is there something missing? And that might make that happiness short term. And this is where you've got to go back into yourself, go back deep within into yourself. So accomplishments, other people, how you look, money, all of that, they can't make you happy if you aren't already happy with yourself, as you are now. So the Two of Wands highlights a decision, about how you want to kind of go forward here. Whatever decision that you make it from here. Don't make it from your head, make it from within. So you have actually quite a bit of work to do here. All of these cards are pointing you back. to going deep within yourself, to be in harmony, going deep within yourself so that you don't care that you what other people think about you. If you go deep within yourself, you know you're whole, and you can go forward. You're not going to be worrying about what other people are thinking. You're just going to forge ahead. The Empress here is saying if you are in touch with that part of you that's deep within, then you know you are. This is where abundance lies. This is where you know. The successes, the Six of Wands is saying if you're happy with yourself within, if you're okay with your sense of self-worth, then you will be happy to own your talents and go forth with them. And the Page of Pentacles is saying, you know, yes, you do. You've got these great ideas, but you need to be able to in order to go forward with them, you have to be willing to learn from your mistakes. And if you're okay with who you are inside, you'll be okay learning from your mistakes. And this card is, you know, culminating in saying if you're not happy with yourself, then it doesn't really matter about anything else, because it'll be temporary. So you do need to be, this card is really telling you, go deep within yourself, find your bliss within, and then go forward with or at least, you know, you're doing that, take it with you. Take it into the future with you. Now, this card is also very much, it's about making decisions. It can be about whether to stay or go. So if you need to make a move, maybe you need to make a move outside of a safe environment into an environment that you're unfamiliar with. We go back to the Fool here, don't we? And so it wants people, there's this restlessness, and they, you know, can often be a decision between staying in an environment that's familiar but no longer stimulating. Or it can be about making a change that holds a promise but might not deliver. So it's about anticipated rewards. Wands are very much about action, and the Two describes that sort of process of making the decision about the sort of appropriate course to take. And so the Two of Wands, it indicates that when you are in charge, you're quite comfortable making decisions, and that you're really good at standing by them. This is very much a Wands thing. Now, you might not be able to give a sort of a logical reason for that, but you still feel comfortable enough to action them. And this is something that I know that I feel, I feel like I resonate a lot with the Wands suit. And certainly I found in my life that I can make, sometimes I can make decisions that have no logical reason attached to them. Everybody else around me is saying, are you crazy? Are you nuts? Don't be ridiculous. People don't do it like that. That's never going to work. And I've often found myself saying things like, well, you know, I can't explain where this decision is coming from, but I know it's the right thing to do. And so I do it, and life just, it's like, I don't know, it's just like all of these, everything just falls into step. It's been absolutely, it's a fantastic feeling. It's like the universe has your back every step of the way. That's my personal experience. So when that is happening, then I don't usually turn to other people for direction, because I'm willing to be responsible for the outcome of that decision. And often because maybe, as I said before, other people will say, that's not how it should be done. But you do need to have equilibrium between your mind and the body, so that you know that you're not going to act until you need it. And so I'm not talking about recklessness in a sense of throwing everything to the wind. It's almost like a calculated risk, in the sense that there is a certain thought process in that. And that's very much what the Two of Wands is about. It's about your thought process that may not make sense to somebody else, but it makes complete sense to you. The biggest difficulty for the Two of Wands is that we're looking at making decisions that you would intuitively make, and those are the decisions that will bring you to success. But what you have to be really careful when the Two of Wands comes up is that you're not acting out of boredom. You're not acting out of this sort of sense that there's a lack of new direction or stimulus, because that is what will be your greatest problem. If you're acting out of boredom, that you just need to shake things up, that is what might get you into trouble, and into the kind of trouble that you don't want. So basically, don't ignore the assessments of others, especially when there's other people involved in the decisions that you're having to make. Don't believe that your decisions are right for everyone. That you may have to draw those people that are affected into your decision making process. So it's a minor arcana card, but it's actually huge. And I think it's very interesting that it's coming here at the end of this as well, because this is very much about bringing something forth, going forward with something, and a decision at the end of the day. Do you go forward with this, or do you not go forward with it? And if you are going to go forward with it, where are you acting from? Are you acting intuitively, or are you letting boredom be your master here? So a lot there. I think it's been quite a long bit of a long session, not surprising, because we've got 6 cards going on here, and I have lots to say about it. However, I think there's enough there for you to really dwell on. So this is going to be the end of our reading for this week. And if it resonates with you, do leave me a comment below. You can also subscribe to this channel to be notified for the next reading. And if you would like to know more, you can book a private reading with me. You will find my email address in the description of the video. So, lovely people, I am going to love you and leave you until next week.